Well, I wanted to go in a little bit different direction today, but yesterday I promised you more James Allen, and I could I could just go on with James Allen for months and months and months, maybe years. There's just so much depth to his writings and the things that he brought to bear over 100 years ago, and my gosh. So the quote in yesterday's and today's are out of order a little bit, as I mentioned, but this one, such a small quote and so much to really dive into. We're only going to scratch the surface of this in a few minutes, but the quote, get ready. Circumstance does not make the person, it reveals them to themselves. Circumstance doesn't make you, but it reveals you to yourself. Now, it's not going to just automatically go, here you are. You've got to ask some questions. You've got to dig. When you're in the middle of a circumstance, you're just not going to be revealed to be who you are. You've got to dig. Now, sometimes we react to circumstances. Oh, the circumstance is here. I'm a victim. Circumstances are a way for you to grow. We're right now dealing with worldwide circumstances that are not directed at us as individuals, but as a collective. We've got a pandemic. The pandemic has affected health. It's affected economics. It's affected our ability to come and go as we please. There have been many, many effects. It's affected the way we work, whether we work. There's just so much there with the pandemic. On top of that, we've got a protest going on, whichever side of that you're on. And I believe the protest is legitimate. I believe it's important that all people are treated equally. And I think there is an inequality in our country. And I think the protests are obvious proof of that. And when you see the horrific murder that goes on, and I'm not going to get into that, but there are so many emotions and so many things and so many these protests coming up that are affecting us emotionally inside. We're looking at this there's just such a visceral response when you see images of brutality, and then you see the massive uprising that's causing, and in my belief, rightfully so. And I love the diversity of the uprising, because we're all starting to get what we didn't get before. We're all starting to understand what we didn't understand before, and we need to understand even more than we understand right now. But it's a change, it's a circumstance, and it has impact. There's a whole political climate that is brewing in our country as well, that even before the pandemic and before the protesting going on, there was this tension politically in our country, and we've been fairly equally divided, and we're seeing some changes in that, and a divided nation is never a good thing. And so here we are with all these outside circumstances, yet some of us are having family issues, financial issues, health issues that are not related to any of those things. And those take a little bit more personal hit, and they take introspection even deeper than what's going on in the world today. So I want to give you some questions. And in the first one, just on awareness for you. Just take it in and say, how is this circumstance making me feel? You've probably had a lot of time on the pandemic to think about how you feel. You probably knew pretty quickly how you felt about the inequality issues and the protests going on. And you've probably had some time to think about your political beliefs and where you fit into this divided country. So you may know some of that, but take some time to identify it. Don't take the fact that you have a feeling to prevent you from exploring the feeling. Why do you feel that way? How does that feeling affect you on a daily basis? And if it's affecting you negatively, and if you're not having hope and encouragement for the future, can you change that? Can you find something to hope for in these times? Because hope is really important. Can you have some faith that things are going to get better? Because when you take faith and gratitude, fear can't exist without faith and gratitude, or with faith and gratitude. They can't coexist. You're not going to have fear and gratitude at the same time in your mind. Your mind's not going to make room for those two different feelings. So the best way you can get rid of the fear is to find something you can believe in, something you can hope for, something you feel grateful for. That's what's going to push that fear out of you. That's what's going to help you get up in the morning and face it. So can you change that feeling? I guess first and foremost, can you change the circumstance? Is the circumstance something within your control? Many times, it's not. If it is, how do you change it? If it's not, and you can't change the circumstance, can you change your own response to the circumstance? That's the key. Circumstance is there. What are you going to do with yourself? You can't do anything about the circumstance. What are you going to do about yourself? What are you going to do about your response to it? Are you going to live in that hope and faith, or are you going to continue to live in the fear? Are you going to take, let's say you have a business, are you going to take that business and try to wait out the circumstance, or are you going to find a new path? How are you going to take action? What is that circumstance informing you? And how do you move past it? And as you look at alternating that path, alternating that journey, a question has to come to mind. It's hard with a pandemic. It's hard with civil unrest. But when you're dealing with those more personal things, it's easier. Now, I think it can be done with the pandemic and the civil unrest as well. But think about this. What is this circumstance here to teach you on an individual basis? Why is this here? Why did you need this? Our times of growth, as I said in the beginning, come from circumstances that we can't control, obstacles, things that get in the way. And why are they getting in our way? Is there another path we're supposed to take? My coach is helping me through some health crisis. And just as I coach people, I have a coach, a phenomenal one. And one of the questions that comes up in a lot of our conversations when we talk about health is, why is it here? Was there something at some point in history in my life, and my health issues probably festered for a long time, so that's why we go back to histories. You may have a broken bone or something that was instant. But why did this happen? Was there something that my body was protecting me from? And if it no longer needs protecting, how can I inform my body through my brain that it no longer needs protecting? And can I, through visualizations and some other things, take that? Can I make changes in my life? If I understand what my body was protecting me from, can I make changes that help it? So it may be a business change. It may be something health related. I've changed my dietary habits dramatically, still have a long way to go, and work every day. And every day change is happening in my diets. But what is the circumstance here to teach you, to help you, to shift you? So circumstances don't make the person, but it reveals the person to themselves. The only way that you're going to see that revelation and see yourself revealed to you is to ask questions and to inquire. And you're the one with the answers. You may think you're asking somebody else the questions, but no, you're asking yourself the questions. How is this affecting me? How am I feeling? How do I change my feelings? How do I change my response? What do I need to learn? How does my journey shift? How does my path shift? Those are the questions. So take those questions, and if these circumstances are weighing on you, and for most of us they are, if you have some other personal things going on, as most of us do, don't just expect the answers to be revealed if you don't take the time to dig into the questions and work through them and think through them and dig deep within yourself. I hope you'll do that. And I hope you'll see some good positive change and a better feeling about yourself in the day. Take care.